This is 4TW Live for February 14th, 2015, Episode 14. Carty takes over.
On Monday she's a bitch, on Tuesday she's a bitch, and Wednesday to Saturday she's a bitch. Then on Sunday, just to be different, she's a super king, Kamehameha, bitch. Have you ever met my friend Cos Mom? She's the biggest bitch in the whole...
Welcome to 4TW Live, where news and everything that has to do with gaming and whatnot is just, we just make it so much more better and exciting for everybody. Well, as you can see, I'm just here by myself. This is Carty. I'm actually taking over 4TW Live for today. And yeah, Mario, you know, he's got a life. He's got a, you know, wife and everything, and of course Admiral does too, but he's sick. Actually, he's sick as a dog. So I guess it'll just be me today. Boy, I hope I don't let you guys down. So let's get started. All right, well, a couple things in news to get us started today. First off, I just want to say that if you haven't noticed yet, a game came out a few days ago called Evolve. And let me tell you guys something. This game is starting to look pretty impressive. It's honestly, I think this is going to be one of those games where, you know, first off, it came out on the 10th, just a few days ago. I mean, a lot of the reviews have been pretty good. You know, occasional glitches here and there, but for the most part, it's solid and a lot of fun from what I'm hearing. Yeah, I mean, some of the complaints are just, again, glitches and, you know, multiplayer. There's a few things here and there they got to work out, but, you know, for the most part, this is one game that you may want to actually put on your list. I would see these ratings up here, and like IGN is giving it real high, and Steam is real low. Now, keep in mind, Steam, the reason why it's so low is because typically with computer games that are, you know, usually they start out on console, end up on computer, or in this case it happened all at the same time. There's always going to be more problems on the computer side, you know, it's in the beginning for just about any game. So that's to be expected. So I wouldn't let that worry you too much. But yeah, check that out for sure. I have a lot of friends already playing it, so it's a hell of a lot of fun. You could either be a monster or a hunter, so I mean, can't go wrong there. All right, well, next thing, we'll switch it up a little bit to still staying within gaming. As a lot of people have, we've mentioned in our previous shows, and a lot of people may be aware of this, but just yesterday, Nintendo released the new 3DS XL. Now, new meaning it's 3DS XL as you know it, but as we mentioned in our previous, one of our previous episodes, it's faster. Starts up quicker with games, and it's just a better, more memory and just better performance all around. They're able to provide a lot more as far as feature-wise and so on and so forth. So just to give you another glimpse of some of the features, and again, this is just a kind of a quick overview, but more or less to let you know that it is out. It came out yesterday. On Friday, so it's definitely something. If you don't have, I would suggest if you do have a 3DS XL or 3DS, what have you, you may want to take advantage of the trade-up offers that GameStop is offering, because that'd probably be the best way to go. And and as far as if this is worth getting, I would say absolutely yes. I mean, you know, for the simple fact that not just because of the enhancements of memory and this and that and the other. You know, some of the features that come with it, like battery life improvement, you know, the further amiibo support with the NFC, which is already on it, but it's a little bit different, a little bit better. The 3D is way better because it actually has the tracking option they added, which is nice. So the 3D option isn't just a blurry piece of shit like everybody else experienced, you know, thus far. So I would say if you're asking if it's worth it, go for it. Definitely go for it. You know, with Nintendo, you can't go wrong. So that's what I would suggest on that matter. All right. Let's see what next. Well, I think we'll go ahead and just keep everything in the same context as far as gaming goes. But to be honest, I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of gaming news. We did touch on the fact that there was a Nintendo Direct not too long ago, so that has actually apologizing again. Me and Mario, we did a whole episode, man, and it was a pretty good episode, and we just totally, not we, but I totally fucked up. I should have tested. You know, it's funny. I ran all those fucking tests today, make sure everything works. And right when it comes down time, everything fucks up. So even when I plan ahead, I'll be all right. I just gotta remind myself, technology is not always reliable. Let that be a lesson to you people. Anyway, so yeah, as far as gaming news, like the Nintendo Direct, there was a lot of things we talked about in it. One thing, just something I wanted to mention about was one of the games. My son, especially along with a lot of people I know, love Kirby, love all the Kirby games that have come out. And there's actually a Kirby game that's coming out, which is more like, it kind of gives you that feel almost like Epic Yarn, which if you liked the Epic Yarn, it was pretty cool. This one's called Kirby's Rainbow Curse, and it looks like claymation. Gives you that claymation kind of feel. I'll show you here. You'll see it's pretty cool. I mean, and you get to utilize the touchscreen a little bit more, which which is kind of interesting gameplay feature. You trace where you go to and so forth. And I gotta say, if anybody ever sees these games and think, oh, it's some kiddie shit or whatever, and reserve your opinion until you actually try it, because fortunately I have a kid who likes these kind of games, so I get a chance to try them out through him. But even if I didn't, and if I would probably be a little stereotypical, I'd say, it's a bunch of kiddie crap. But man, these games are addicting. They are super addicting and somewhat challenging too. And they're fun, and there's a little bit of replayability to these games, these Kirby games. So again, another Kirby game coming out, and I actually had the release date, but it totally slipped my mind. But it's here we go. So let's see. Yeah, it was released in Japan. That's right. So February 20th. So it's right around the corner. Right around the corner. Yeah, that's right, because my son was like reminding me about it. So yeah, so next week, guys, look for that. Speaking of coming up here, there was one other thing, and I think I must have exited out. Well, switching gears here from gaming to movies, and entertainment industry, if you will. Now, as some of you may or may not know, the Oscars are actually coming up. There we go. It's just a little info for you on the 22nd. Now, they were saying that, there's a lot, as usually, Oscars are always Oscars. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Oscar person. I know a lot of people do the parties, and, they really follow it like a religion kind of thing. And I don't know, man. It's just a little too fixed for me, to be honest. But one thing I am actually happy about and looking forward to, and it's just more of an after thing once it's actually over with and they've announced the winners. My hopes is I hope that of all the winnings, okay, I'm hoping Birdman comes out with some Oscars, because let me tell you, that was a great movie. I just saw it not too long ago, and if you haven't seen Birdman, you got to go see it. That's like. It doesn't even have to be for a date movie or anything. Just go see it. If you have to see it by yourself, so be it. It's just see it while it's in it's a kind of movie you do want to see in theaters, to be honest, because these days, people like, Matt, Admiral Jackass, and others, they invest a lot of money into these theaters, home theaters. They get their own projection screen, and trust me, that's great, and I wish to do the same thing in the future. But sometimes nothing replaces good old, movie theater experience, and granted, it's one of those things, and it's actually the topic I'm going to go into today, because I felt this is a topic that could kind of be a solo topic, because we had a lot of other topics lined up for this show, but since Mario and Admiral Jackass couldn't be here, I decided I'm going to go ahead and pick a main topic that I think I could talk about with you guys, and it would be something that isn't out of the realm of needing others opinions added into the conversation, if you will. At least not during. You get what I'm fucking saying. Anyway, so again, the main topic for today is going to be discussing movie theaters, movie experience. Is it worth going to the movies anymore these days, or would you rather? What are your options? Okay, so we'll start first off with, the general question is it worth going? Okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, now the reasons why, I'll get to specifics in a second. So let's just talk about first what I was just mentioning about with Admiral and having a home theater set up. Okay, so which I would say, what would be your alternative if you're deciding I'm not going to go to the movies anymore? What are your alternatives? So you have some options. You could actually invest. You're not investing. Granted, your entire, half of your paycheck or half of your paychecks for the year or anything like that. It's not a ridiculous amount of money we're talking about. You can actually build a really decent home entertainment system that gives you that same theater experience. I'm talking sound and everything. You can have all that in a reasonable price. I mean, I'm talking anywhere from first off, the projector. The projector is probably one of the main components. Which that pricing on it, depending on what you're going for, but generally speaking, it's anywhere between $600 to $1,000 for the projector. The sound and speaker setup, you're probably spending again another between $500 and $1,000, and that's including the receiver. The receiver being the larger portion of it, or half, if you will. So I'd probably say actually more to $1,000, maybe $1,100, and again, half that being the receiver, the other half being the speakers and whatnot, and the screen is very important, and of course, having the right room. You want to make sure you have the proper lighting. Make sure you have blackout curtains if you're in an area where there's too much light. You definitely want to invest in that, because again, you want that movie theater experience in your home. And then there's also the accessories, and I say accessories like they're pretty much optional, but you could get your own popcorn, air popcorn machine, just even with its own, little wheelie, little glass in case, and, it says popcorn on the outside, the whole 9 yards. Those aren't actually too expensive. You can find those for like $100 to $200, and, get that same kind of air popcorn that, it's just a different taste than, something out of a microwave. So now, before we move off of this part of the topic here, when it comes to a movie theater setup, okay, one piece of huge advice I would say to give to anybody is, God, please do not try to do it on your own. It's better to get either someone that has done it, set up before, or has set it up before, or knows what they're doing to help you, or simply hire somebody. One way or another, you need to do one of the two. Because, let me tell you, there's a lot of things you're not going to think about. Aligning the projector correctly, putting it in the right position, making sure the screen's in the right position. I mean, there's a lot of things. The sound, especially, setting up the receiver and then calibrating the sound. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. So you want to make sure that, you just hire somebody if push comes to shove. Okay? Don't try to do it on your own. This isn't one of those things where you could just, wing it. You can't wing it, trust me. So yeah, so there's that. So that's that part of the home entertainment setup. Now, any other alternatives? I mean, if you really are just, you really don't want to go that far and you just kind of want something decent at home, then I would say, I would say, save up and invest in the near future, a OLED 4K television, 60 inch or higher. And, it's coming right around the corner. OLEDs are out, but the non 4K ones, there's 4K LCDs that are out. So once the OLED 4K televisions are out fully, and not just out, but I mean, reasonably priced. So give it about 2 years. That's what I would do. I would save up your money now and invest in that. And that would be a good alternative if you don't want to have the projection option. So if you'd rather that experience being more of a screen, then that would be the way to go too. Or if you really want to be balling, you could just do both. But, that's if you got money coming out of your ass. So there's that. So as far as movie theater experience, now I know the biggest thing people have problems with is people going to theaters and not respecting other people. They do things that, maybe they don't think is bothering others and stuff. And the list is pretty extensive, but, stuff like, going through your cell phone and, you may not be making any noise, but the screen is pretty bright. Remember, it's a dark room, and it just kind of creates this like pylon of fucking, light of epic proportions that you're not even realizing, and it bothers people, and just like you paid money, other people paid the same amount of money to be there for the experience, and the last thing they want is a pyre of fucking light straight through their fucking visual screen, okay? So cut that shit out, okay? Especially a lot of you motherfuckers who who just, I want the big 5-inch fucking screen, okay? Congratulations, you got the largest cell phone in existence, but, next to, of course, the, old school brick phones. But point being, it's a giant light, okay? So just bring the shit down a notch, or just turn it off, okay? Take care of all your, in fact, and this goes with texting, this goes with, taking a call. I don't care how important it is to you or whatever. If it's really important, you need to take it. Best thing to do is go outside of the theater. It's not outside the entire theater, but outside of the theater you're in the lobby area, and take your call there. Okay. It's a movie is not. It's supposed to be about the experience. Just like if you go to a theme park and you go because you want to go for that experience. That's why you're supposed to go to a movie is for that similar kind of experience. Just like, we were talking, me and Admiral have talked about this before. There's a movie theater in Alamo, Texas. And this movie theater, let me tell you, this movie theater is pretty badass because they actually have a lot of rules that are old school kind of rules. They have ushers that stay in the actual theater. And just to give you an idea, first off, the doors from the inside are not locked, but from the outside they are, as soon as the previews begin. And that's how it should be. Because, no offense, but if you're, I've been there when I've showed up late. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm above that. There have been very rare times, because I'm very stickler when it comes to movies. And I'm always about being on time or being early. But the fact of the matter is, if you're coming in halfway through the credits or when the credits are almost over, you're 5, 10, 20 minutes late, then just go back, get your money back, pick a different time, come back a different time. Just don't interrupt people, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to interrupt people while they're trying to get into the experience of the movie, because the experience begins when the trailers do. A lot of people have this thing that they think, the trailers are just for fucking around. No, the preview bullshit before the trailers start, the advertisements and that's when you do your bullshit. Not when the previews start. When the previews start, you shut your... That's like as if the movie was already started. That's when it begins. Not when the movie starts, but when the previews start. So get that right, people. Yeah, so they lock it from the outside. They have ushers in there, and the ushers are there, so if anybody's breaking rules, I mean, they're almost pretty much zero tolerance. I mean, there's certain exceptions that they'll, let you go, they'll let you slide or what have you, but bottom line is, if you're an obnoxious ass, you're fucking gone. And you will not get a refund, you're out the door. And that's how it used to be back in the day. You probably, if you ever seen those old Looney Tune cartoons and they had the Bugs Bunny as like an usher holding the flashlight, or some random schmuck with a flashlight swinging it, and he points it in their face and, get the heck out of here or whatever. That's basically what ushers were. That's what their job were. It wasn't just cleaning up when everybody leaves the theater. Ushers had more of a responsibility of making sure that people were enjoying the movie. And if there was any problems, they handled it. That's why they had the flashlight. I mean, let's say, somebody was not feeling good or feeling sick. They could come over there and say, hey, is everything okay? If they weren't, they could quickly go get like a manager or get, whatever needs to be done. That's what ushers were there for handling shit while the movie is going. And we don't have that anymore. Luckily, this theater does, which I think is badass. And I think... Yeah, sorry about that. And right when I was talking, I was like, boom, fucking... the computer crashed. Awesome. Right when I was in mid-sentence, too. So I'm real sorry about that, guys. Luckily, I remember where I left off, so... kind of patch things back to where they were. Fucking swear. Again, I love my computer to death. Everything's awesome with it. But XSplit today is just being very, very finicky and just flaky. And I'm just going to punch the screen in a minute. Anyhow, okay. So back to what I was saying. You just don't have that kind of experience anymore with ushers. Okay? The ushers, I think, should go back to what they were doing. And to me, that works. Where they, they basically kept things going, make sure everyone had an enjoyable experience, and handled the rough people that just are douchebags should be there. Which segues me into another thing that I have to say is one of the things that pisses me off the most. And it's that, okay, just how I was comparing movie theater experience to kind of like a similar experience you go into a theme park. You really go for the experience, the atmosphere, the touchy-feely shit you get from it. You get just the whole experience, right? So when there's these people and you know who they are, I hope it's nobody watching this, because if it is one of you, I swear I would just fucking love to just have 30 minutes in a closed fucking room, just a cinder block and and a giant fucking chain, and just beat the living shit out of you for 30 minutes. And what I'm talking about, of course, is the son of a bitchin' people that they go to movies to socialize, to meet people, to, it's like a whole, get together, and they could give two shits about the fucking movie. Like, they go there to, because my friends went, so I could say I went. Oh, there's Lily, and there's this person, and blah, blah, like, fuck off, people, okay? Fuck off into the deepest, darkest recesses of hell, okay? You people drive me up the fucking wall when you come in, and it's usually, and the best part about these kind of cocksuckers is that even some of them will come in either large groups right before the movie starts, and they'll always get in the seats behind you or very close, and they're always chatty and making their own little fucking secondhand comments that are just, you just want to turn around and say, are you just mentally retarded? Seriously. But, and then, you have the other side of it where the groups that come in late and when the movie's starting, and it's like, why the fuck are you here? Why are you... What? Like, I know this is kind of like not the same people I'm talking about at the moment, but it's just like people that come in late into the movie, I'll never understand that in general. I'll never get that. Like, if you come in and the movie's already started, like, I've seen it where, like, a whole family and little babies and kids and all this shit, they all pile in, and it's already 20 minutes into the movie. Like, why even fucking bother? Turn the fuck back around and go back, get your money back, go to a different time. Because all you're doing is wasting our time, interrupting our fucking experience, and you're not even seeing the whole fucking movie. So, outside of that, what was the whole fucking point of you being there? You see what I'm saying? Like, what? I just don't get it. Like, why would you be there if you're coming in 20 minutes or longer into the movie? It just blows me away. But again, going back to there's these groups of people. Okay, there's the socialite douchebags that come in different varieties, shapes, and sizes, but they show up nonetheless, and all they are therefore is just socializing, so they can all fucking die in hell. Okay, then you have, which I just mentioned now, just a second ago, the families, that bring their little babies. Okay, now look, I have a son. Okay, he's 11. I remember when he was a baby. I remember when he was little, and I was thanking God that he's just now in the last few years getting into where he'll sit still during a movie. But getting through those years is a pain in the ass, and as a parent, I understand that entirely. How fucking ever learn to be a good parent, and a good parent would say, you know what? I can't find a babysitter for my child. I don't want to take my child to a movie because, the child won't be still. I know that. You know that, you fuckers. You know that. And you still fucking bring them anyway. So you know that. So guess what? Be the responsible parent and say, you know what? Maybe I should just fucking wait and sit at home. And go another time when the chance is available. And if you don't have the chance, then, I'm sorry. Maybe you should have rethought your life and maybe not had a kid. Because if a kid is somehow going to interrupt you from having a movie experience that you think is worth ruining your life, that it's somehow making your life harder, then you have bigger problems than making a fucking movie with or without a kid. Okay? Let's be honest. But the thing is, when it comes to movies, okay, it's supposed to be about the experience. So when you know your child is not going to be there, they're not even going to get into the movie. And worst off, and I've seen this before, and I know you people have, you sick fucking pieces of shit that bring a kid in a PG-13 or rated R movie, and I mean, I guess some PG-13 movies I could say, okay, maybe cussing, okay, that, whatever, I could let that slip. That could be easily, you could teach your child, okay, those are things you don't say, and that's fine. But when there's going to be a lot of sexual things or gore and violence, don't fucking bring your kid during that shit. I mean, you people wonder why. You wonder why your kids are hellions and fucking overhype. Okay, here's a little fact for you. Okay, a little psychological fact: kids that are exposed to violence or anything that's got a lot of action in it, a lot of noise associated with it, a lot of explosions, whatnot. Interactive video games and stuff. If they're introduced to this at too early of an age, they go fucking crazy. Crazy. Okay, if you don't believe me, look around. Trust me, I'm sure you're gonna know somebody. If it's not you, of course, but you're gonna know somebody that has a kid. That kid's gonna be. You're like thinking, Jesus, my kid is perfect compared to this kid, because this kid's like bouncing all over the walls. He won't sit still. He or she won't sit still. They're cursing, saying bad words. Like, what the hell? Like, did that kid just say fuck and he's like 3 or 4 years old? And the kids wanting to be violent and lash out violently, and it's just, you can't overexpose a child. And you know, I shouldn't even have to say this because this should be common sense, but it's amazing how many people don't know this, you know? And, you know, again, so going back to the whole thing, when it comes to the movie theater, don't bring your fucking kids that don't give a shit about the movie, that won't sit through it. Even if it's a kiddie movie and you know they won't sit through it, don't fucking bring them. Common sense, man. You want to know how you can, and if you try to say, oh, well, how do I know if they'll sit through it? Very fucking simple, dumbass. All you do is get a fucking movie from Netflix or wherever the fuck source you get it from, and, you know, play it at home, like a movie similar to the one you're going to see. And if your kid is not sitting there on the couch with you, you know, watching it with you and just getting into it, and if they're just running around and, you know, regardless if it's at it's at your home, it doesn't matter. If they're not going to sit through the movie, then guess what? They're not going to do it at a fucking theater. So, you know, ding, ding, ding. Here's your prize. Fucking a clue. Anyway. I know it's kind of turned more into a rant and raving, but it's just, fuck, man. Movie experiences should be about the enjoyment of going to see that movie that you've been waiting to see. You're all hyped up about. You're spending, let's be honest, a ton of money, okay? Because sadly, you know, because of, I wouldn't say it's because of copyright, which I'll get to that in a second. That's going to be my last point before I end this topic. You know, it costs a lot of money to make movies. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. So they're going to pass, it's just going to go down the line from the, you know, the cast and crew and everything that puts it together, and trickles down to the theaters themselves. And the cost and how everything's going to cost is going to depend on, you know, how much money they make. You know, movie theaters, in case you didn't know this, I mean, in case you were born under a fucking rock, movie theaters do not make money off of the actual movie, okay? They make money off of concession. That's how they make their money, okay? Now, I would say, I don't know what the exact percentage, but let's just throw it out there and say 90%, okay? Hell, 95%. I wouldn't be surprised if that was dead on. The point being, that's how they make their money. So please stop bitching about the cost of food. You know, it's just like when you go to a restaurant, okay? You want to bitch about tipping, or you want to bitch about, you know, I don't think I should leave a tip, or, you know, you automatically have that mentality. You know, you lazy piece of garbage. I should fucking punch every one of you that thinks that. If someone else is serving you food, okay, tip them, okay? If they're a dickhead or they're bad or whatever, yeah, that's a different story. But most of the people aren't. They're just hardworking, trying to get through the day. They get paid shit. So fucking cut them a slack. Cut them a little break. Because guess what? You're not doing the dishes. You're not cleaning up after yourself. They're doing all that shit. You didn't make the food. And if you say cooking and all that, yeah, unless you're a cooking enthusiast, it can be pretty strenuous. So there's a lot of workload taken off of you automatically from not having to, from preparation through cooking it to serving it to cleaning up. You didn't have to do none of that. So have the decency to fucking tip, okay? And it's the same thing with movie theaters, okay? People want to sneak in food and stuff. You know what? If you sneak in food because you have certain dietary needs, I get that. That's one thing. I get that. Like, even if you're just on a diet, you know, and you just don't want it, there's nothing, even though there's healthy foods now that they actually have there, and, you know, whatever. But the point being, don't be a scumbag and camping food just because you want to save a few bucks. Because to me, that's like, oh man, it's hard to explain to someone, especially if you're on a budget, and you can argue back to me and say, well, Carty, you fat fuck, it's easy to say that, but, someone wants to go see a movie, but, you don't want to spend the money. Aha! Stop you right fucking there. Spend the money. That's the point. If you aren't able to spend the fucking money for the whole experience, you just want the parts that are, convenient for you financially, then fuck off, man. You're not going to have anyone, especially me, feeling sorry for you. I'm not. I'm sorry. So if you want to sit here and tell me, I should be able to go see a movie and, just pay for the ridiculously expensive ticket and not have to pay for the ridiculously expensive popcorn or whatever else they have, you know what? Save it for someone who fucking cares, which is nobody, okay? Bottom line is, that's how the movie theaters make their money, okay? Now, unless you want to go spend money on, unless you want movie theaters to start disappearing, you need to accept that fact, okay? Bottom line. Now, let's talk about copyrights. Now we'll let you guys know a little preview that, if not I think our next episode is actually going to be about the dark side of the internet. And in that topic, we may discuss a little bit more about copyright. But I just want to kind of touch on it just a little bit. In more of the sense of how it affects the movie theater experience. Now, people that want to bring in cameras and do the whole cam thing, you people are just so fucking sad in so many fucking ways. Like, first off, are you really benefiting somehow? I mean, you're okay. There's a thing called torrenting, which, again, we'll talk about next week when we talk about the dark side of the internet and what that is specifically. But when you're a torrenter, okay, and you know who you are, okay, because you're the same fucking person, and you're just trying to keep up your upload ratio, and you think, oh, I'm going to be slick and go fucking record it. Dumbass, I hope you go to the right theater at the right time. And I know most of these people probably know someone in the theater, so they probably find some way to get away with it, what have you. Good kudos for them if they have that kind of hookup. But just stop wasting your time with the fucking cams. I'm not desperate enough to see a movie to where I'm going to watch it in such a shitty quality that, and you can try to, it's free. Look, bitch. At the end of the day, what's the point of watching the movie if you can barely make out what's going on the screen? The audio is shit. I mean, you're what's going to end up happening is you don't really even get the full experience of the movie. And guess what's going to happen? Your ass is going to end up seeing it again in the regular way everyone else sees it, whether it be getting it through Redbox or Netflix or wherever the fuck you get it. So why waste your time dealing with cams and shit? And not to mention the fact that, if you get caught doing that shit, guess what? You're fucking done. And I actually know somebody that got caught at a local theater in Tampa. And on his Facebook page, he says, well, it looks like I'm going to be going away for a while. And I'm not going to say who he is, but needless to say, he tells me in a private conversation, yeah, he's probably, his lawyer said he's probably looking at a good 5 years at least. Maybe he'll get out in 2 or 3 if he's good. And I said, for filming a fucking movie with his cell phone. I was like, oh man, this kid so fucking stupid. And keep in mind, the lawyer basically said he's going to get jail time. He's going to get prison time. So guess what, dumbass? You're going to a federal pen because of recording a movie on a fucking cell phone just to get your upload ratio so you can be cool or whatever your fucking reasons are. Okay? I mean, come on. It's not worth it. The movies are made. I mean, there's so much time and effort and everything that goes into the experience of creating a movie that why would you tarnish it by watching a cam? If you watch a cam, and I've had friends that do it and they watch cams, and I've had one like, of course I've had a few friends that are like, hey, watch this cam, and I'll watch like 1 minute of it, and I end up turning it off and deleting it. And why? Because it's a waste of fucking time. The movie is terrible. You can't make out anything that's going on. The audio is shit. The video is shit. What's the point? You might as well get a real job if you need, or whatever your financial situation is. Get it right and go see a movie. Pay your fucking ticket. If you don't want snacks or nothing, it's too expensive for you, fine. Don't spend nothing and just go in and enjoy the movie. And don't make any fucking bullshit noises or talk during the movie or fuck with your cell phone or masturbate or try to fuck your girlfriend or whatever it is you're trying to do, okay? Cut all that shit out. Because remember, there are the moral of the story is this. Going to the movies is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. Nobody wants to go into a movie and have some obnoxious fucking dipshit running his mouth or, making his own commentary during the whole movie, because I've had that. Or playing with their fucking cell phone, creating the light spire of doom that every fucking, insect in 20 miles, just right to it, that's how fucking bright it is, like if you guys seen, what was it, Wreck-It Ralph, and the big light that brings all the bugs in that game, like that's their cell phone in a nutshell. Okay, fucking cut that out, people. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story, man, about it's on my cell phone lights. Fucking this dipshit. We were in a packed theater. I can't remember what movie it was, but guy turns his phone on and he's like doing this. He's like holding it up, looking at it. So he's being like real obvious. And random people are like, "Hey, shut your phone off. Hey, turn your phone." And you know what this dipshit does? He does this. He puts it down, and then he brings it up, and then he puts it higher. He's like, "Hoo hoo hoo hoo," waving it. Oh man, and what's funny was before I even said anything, some other guy lost it. He walks over there. He tells him, "If you don't put that phone down, I'm gonna shove it up your ass, and then it'll be put away." And then everyone's like, "Ooh," snap and everything. And we were just laughing our ass off. And this dude was a big fucking dude. And the kid with the fucking cell phone was like, he was like a teenager, looked like, and a little skater douchebag. Yeah, he knew what was gonna happen if he didn't fucking pay attention. So, anyway. Well, my throat's telling me I should probably give up now, so I think I'm going to call it an episode. It is shorter than most episodes. I know usually about 2 hours or close to it, but since it's just me, I wanted to keep it simple, and I hope you enjoyed the topic after all. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very adamant about movies. As you can see behind me, it's pretty huge, but I have a lot of movies, man. I have tons. I have over 300-400 movies. I'm gonna count and actually library my shit eventually, but I have a lot of movies, and it's my passion. I like to collect them. I eventually want to make them. Me and Admiral are actually working on, slowly but surely. That's part of the reason why we did 4TW and everything is we're gonna eventually shoot our own short films, and we want to expand to that, and that's our goal, not just as a hobby, but, and it's a hobby that we can enjoy, we can share with others, and it's not something that we're thinking, it's going to turn into something big, and we may make it to Hollywood and all that. It's nothing like that. It's something that we enjoy doing, and hopefully you'll get to look forward to some of that in the near future. But anyways, hey, what's going on? Oh, fuck you. Who the fuck is that? I'm blind, so I can't see your fucking name. Yeah, here's the movie for you. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, thanks whoever that is. Dipshit and Twitch. Yeah, so, anyway. You're probably one of those assholes, aren't you? Are you blind or are you stupid? Actually, I'm actually pretty much blind. No, I'm kidding. My vision is pretty fucking bad. But if we're on the topic of who's stupid, I don't know. say I'm a pretty smart guy. I've gotten this far anyway in life. What about you there, bro? What is it? B70707070. Trying to troll me, kid? Come on. You gotta try better than that. Seriously. Trolls. Don't get me fucking started. Yeah, and that brings up another point. So we're gonna wrap up the show here for TW Live. You guys can actually reach us at 4twnetwork.com. Also, therealcartman.com, which I'm still working on putting the page up, but basically that's where all my material will be at specifically. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channels, 4TW Network, as well as The Real Cartman 69. That's my YouTube channel. And I'll have a lot of my own rants and raves, stuff that I do on my own on that channel. So you can check that out. And other than that, oh, and also Twitter. Can't forget that. I'm actually on Twitter a lot these days just because I'm at work and I'm bored as fuck. And sometimes I'm on Twitter. So my Twitter handle, it's at callmecarty. And you can follow me. I'd appreciate it. And I'll follow you. And you can talk shit there if you want. Or I'll talk shit back to you, whatever. And you can... I'm trying to get on a regular basis where I'm going to set it up so I'll announce whenever I do shows or whenever 4TW goes live through my Twitter. Wait, let's see, Twitch or Twitter? I don't fucking know. Anyway, through Twitter. So if you follow me at Twitter at callmecarty, anytime a show goes live or we record, it'll tell you. So it's a good way to keep up with things. Also follow us here at on 4TW Network on Twitch, twitch.tv/4TW Network. And I think that's pretty much it as far as plugging goes. Plugging everything. Yeah, so again, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. My name is Carty. Call me Carty or just The Real Cartman or Fat Ass. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the show and have a wonderful evening and Valentine's Day. And fuck booby face. You know who you are, bitch.